Hi, my geniuses. Welcome to my channel. This is Carol, and here we are doing our episode 5 of IELTS training. We are going to practice section 3 today. To know more about IELTS in general and more detail on listening test, with some practices we did on section 1 and 3, please find those links in the description box. After every video, there's a test for you, so don't miss it. Post your answers in the comment section. Please subscribe, click on the bell icon to receive updates. Also, if you have any queries or doubts, please ask me in the comment section. Do watch, listen, and enjoy my other videos. Now let's go into the section 3. So questions 21 to 30 comprises of section 3. So here you see matching topics or matching phrases. In section 3 of the listening module, you hear 2, 3, or 4 people talking about an academic topic. So as we saw in section 1 and 2, it's more of a social context. But in section 3 and section 4 is a conversation or a monologue based on an academic subject. So in section 3 is a conversation between 2, 3, or 4 people talking about an academic topic. They may be students or teachers. They could be talking about a particular course assignment or project, or more general academic topics such as study skills. The numbered items appear in the order in which you hear them, but the options A to C do not. So you need to make sure that you read all the options before the recording starts. So let's start the audio while you go through these questions and answer them.
You will hear 2 business studies students, Jack and Sarah, talking to their tutor about a presentation they are preparing. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Hello, you two. Have a seat. Okay. So you're going to tell me about the presentation you're preparing for next week's marketing seminar, right?
That's right. We've drafted this plan for you to look at.
Okay, thanks. Perhaps you could just talk me through it, could you? Sarah, do you want to begin?
Yes. Well, we're going to compare the websites of 2 bicycle companies.
Right, and they're called Hills Cycles and Wheels Unlimited.
Yes. And first of all, we've compared the content of each site and the presentation. Then we've done an evaluation of each one.
Okay. And did you find much difference between the 2 websites, Jack?
Quite a bit, yes. Wheels Unlimited has a lot more pages for a start. Both companies show their catalogue. Pictures of different models of bike with specifications.
And prices?
Yes, they're there too, although they list them in different ways. Hill Cycles have got them next to the pictures, and Wheels Unlimited show them on a separate page.
But Wheels Unlimited advertises lots of other products connected with bikes, like helmets and clothing and tools.
Yes, all kinds of things.
And Hill Cycles?
No, they only show the bikes themselves.
Okay. Well, is there anything on the Hill Cycles website that Wheels Unlimited doesn't have?
Not really.
Yes, there is. It's got a little photo of the original shop and a paragraph about the history of the company. It's family owned.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that.
Right. That's the content then. And you compared the functions of the 2 websites, did you?
Yes. Hill Cycles doesn't have any facility for online ordering. You have to ring up to order something. That's the only way you can do it.
Well, no, you can send off for a paper catalogue with an order form.
Oh, yes, I suppose so. But with Wheels Unlimited, you can order online or in the conventional ways.
That's right.
Fine. Okay. And what about the presentation? Did you find any particular differences there, or similarities? What about visuals?
As I said, both the sites have got pictures, and they're both quite attractive. But Wheels Unlimited hasn't got any moving graphics.
Yes, Hills Cycles has got an animated cartoon at the top of the homepage.
Right. Well, it looks as if you've got plenty to talk about.
There are other things too, but those are the main things we noticed.
Okay, well, you'd better stick to the most obvious differences, because you've only got 10 minutes for the whole presentation, haven't you? And you said you're going to evaluate each site as well, didn't you? How are you going to do that? I mean, what criteria will you use?
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
We thought we'd use 3 criteria: how attractive each website is, how user-friendly it is, and how closely it targets its potential customers. Do you think that's okay?
Sounds fine, but I'd look at the criteria in a different order if I were you. Because really, you've got to look at attractiveness and user-friendliness in relation to the people the website is aiming at. So I'd deal with that criterion first if I were you.
Right.
What about the timing? Have you thought of that? 10 minutes is very short, you know.
Yes, we tried it out.
Several times.
And we've decided to spend 4 minutes comparing the 2 sites, then 3 minutes evaluating them, and leave 3 minutes for questions. That's not really enough, but...
Well, it sounds about right to me. You've got 10 minutes altogether, and you've got to stick to that limit. It's good practice, and at least the audience won't have time to get bored. What visuals are you going to use?
We're going to use PowerPoint and a flip chart as well.
So we can show 2 things at once. For example, we're going to start by showing the home pages of each website, and we're going to put up a list of key features on the flip chart at the same time.
Okay, and it's a joint presentation, so have you decided how you're going to share the work?
Yes. First we thought we'd keep taking it in turns to speak. Sarah would say a bit, then I'd take over, and so on. Then we thought we'd just divide it into 2 equal parts, and do 1 part each. But it was all too complicated. So Sarah's going to do all the talking, and I'm going to manage the visuals, and hope we can coordinate properly.
It's the only way we can fit everything in.
Well, good. You've obviously worked hard, and you've been very careful with the details. Only one thing I would say. Make sure that you keep your visuals simple. I mean, if you're showing a list of key features, for example, you should make it as brief as possible. Just use bullet points and simple phrases, even single words. Your audience won't have much reading time. It's a classic mistake with seminar presentations to present so much information that the audience can't process it quickly enough, and they stop listening to what you're saying. Okay?
Yes, right, okay.
And now let's talk about...
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So after the section 3 is over, you get time to check your answers before you go into your section 4. So let's go to the next test. As I said earlier, 21 to 30 comprises of section 3. And you have choose the correct letter or choose the correct option. And the 24 and 25, you need to select which 2 types of coursework are required each month on a part-time course. 2 of these should be perfect. So let's see these questions first. So let's see questions 21 to 25. So if you hear a speaker begin to talk about the next topic, but you have not answered the question on the previous topic, do not waste time trying to answer that question. Instead, focus on the topic being talked about. The questions always follow the order of the information in the recording. I'm going to be playing the audio for questions 21 to 25.
I was told to come here for advice about management diploma courses.
You've certainly come to the right place. Hi, my name is Monica.
Nice to meet you. My name is Andrew Harris.
So, Andrew, have you seen our diploma course prospectus yet?
Yes, I've already looked at it. In fact, I thought the information on course content was really useful. but I'm afraid I'm a bit confused by all the different ways you can do the course. Full-time intensive, part-time, and so on.
Well, let's see if I can help. I think each course type has its advantages and disadvantages, so it really depends on you, your own study habits, and your financial circumstances, of course. Are you working at the moment?
Yes, I've been working in the administration section of the local hospital for the last 3 years. And before that, I worked in the office of a computer engineering company for 2 years. So I've got about 5 years of relevant work experience. And what I'm hoping to focus on is personnel management.
I see. And are you planning to leave your current job to study, or are you thinking about just taking a year off?
I want to know what my options are, really. I don't want to quit my job or anything, and my employers are keen for me to get some more qualifications, but obviously it would be better if I could do a course without taking too much time away from work.
Right. So you don't really want to do the full-time course, then?
No, not really. It's also a question of finances. You see, my office have agreed to pay the cost of the course itself, but I would have to take unpaid leave if I want to study full-time, and well, I don't think I could afford to support myself with no salary for a whole year.
Okay. Well, you have two other possibilities. You could either do the part-time course, that would be over 2 years, and you wouldn't have to take any time off work, or you could do what we call a modular course. You could do that in 18 months if you wanted, or longer. It's quite flexible, and it would be up to you.
So what does the part-time course involve?
For that, you would join an evening class and have a lecture twice a week. Then you'd have to attend a seminar or discussion workshop 1 weekend a month.
What kind of coursework would I have to do?
Well, it's a mixture. You'd be expected to write an essay each month, which counts towards your final assessment. You have a case study to do by the end of the course, which might involve doing a survey or something like that. And also you need to hand in a short report every 4 weeks.
So that's quite a lot of work then, on top of working every day. It sounds like a lot of studying. Really tiring.
Yeah, you certainly wouldn't have much free time.
So I hope you've gotten the answers for 21 to 25. Now let's go to the test. So this is a table completion questionnaire. So in this type of question, read the instructions properly, and it says over here, write no more than 3 words and or a number for each answer. So you could write 1 word and a number, 2 words and a number, 3 words and a number, or just a number could also be an answer. So listen carefully to the conversation. This would be a conversation again between more than 2 or 3 persons, and you would have to get the answers quickly. You will hear a discussion between a college tutor and 2 students, Christina and Ibrahim, and you would have some time to look at questions 21 to 30. In table completion questions, listening for keywords in the table will help you follow the recording. So remember that the answers will be in an order on the recording, but the information in the table may not. So having a good knowledge of English sentence will help you. So I'm going to play the recording now. You could listen to it and get your answers down, post them in the comment section.
First of all, I'd just like to say, Christina and Ibrahim, that I really enjoyed watching your video about student life last week. And I can see that the rest of the group did too. You did really well, and I hope that you got a lot out of it. I'd like to use this tutorial as a feedback session where you reflect on the experience of doing the project. So, Christina, I was wondering, what did you enjoy most about making the video?
I liked using the camera.
Is it the first time you've operated one like that?
Yes, it is.
Well, the results were very good. Anything else?
I also enjoyed visiting one of the British students we filmed. I'd never been inside a British home before.
Okay, Christina, thanks. What about you, Ibrahim? What did you enjoy?
Well, for me, it was a very good chance to get to know students who are on other courses, because everyone in our group is studying English, and we don't usually have much to do with the rest of the college.
Yes, good. Do you think you'll maintain the contact now?
I hope so. I've invited 3 of them to have dinner with me next week.
Great. If you haven't decided what to make yet, I can tell you they'll love trying Arab dishes. And of course, it's good for your English too. Christina, what did you find? What was the most useful aspect of the project from the point of view of the English practice?
I think when we were being shown how to edit the film, we had to follow the instructions, and that was very good practice for me. And I also learned some technical words that I hadn't heard before.
What about you, Ibrahim? What was the most useful for your English?
It was listening to the British students, because they don't speak as slowly as most of the tutors on our course. I think they speak at natural speed, so it forces me to get used to it. And they use a lot of slang.
So you learned some new words which will be useful?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad it helped. Well, we've talked a little bit about enjoyment and about language practice. Were there any other benefits? What else did you feel you learned from the project? Was it useful in other ways?
Yes, well, firstly, I learned how to use a video camera. And also, I think I really learned a lot about working together with other people. I've never done anything with a group before, and we had to find ways of cooperating and compromising, and sometimes persuading people when they don't agree with you.
Yes, that is a very useful experience, I know.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
What about you, Ibrahim?
Well, I think I learned a lot about how important editing is. When you're filming, you think that everything's going to be interesting, but in fact we cut around half of it in the end, and then it was much better.
Good. Well, one last thing I'd like to ask. What mistakes do you think you, as a group, that is, made? I mean, to put it another way, if you had to do it all over again, is there anything you'd do differently?
We didn't plan very well. For example, we didn't decide on dates when we'd complete each separate step of the project, and we should have agreed about that in the beginning, because we were always late with everything.
Right. Anything else?
I think we should have tried to experiment more with the camera. I mean, with angles and the focus and that kind of thing.
So you should have been more ambitious. Do you agree, Ibrahim?
Not really. In fact, I think we were too ambitious. We were inexperienced, and we didn't have a lot of time, and we tried to do too much, to make a long film. Next time I would make a shorter one and try to get the quality better.
Well, that's very interesting. Next semester, we will be doing another video project with a different content, of course, but you'll have an opportunity to put into practice what you've learned this time. Do you have any ideas about...
That's the end of the audio. Post your answers on the comment section. Episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. Their links are in the description box. So let's practice more tomorrow.